What's up everyone, I'm Callum on Toast and this is the Battle of Spice YouTuber edition. I asked some of the top Pokémon GO PvP content creators and frankly some of the best battlers in the world to submit one battle featuring the spiciest and most unique team they could come up with, and you guys get to decide who did it best. We've got entries from ZyoniK, HomeSliceHenry, Rise to the Occasion, Jonkus, Jamie Finn, ThoTechtical, Ganeto and ChillisFM, and I wanted to involve even more content creators, but with the competition being held during GO Battle Weekend and on fairly short notice, it's understandable that some content creators weren't able to participate. But on that note, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all of the content creators that were able to be part of this competition. My channel just hit 20k subscribers, so I wanted to make a video that involved some of the content creators that have influenced me, inspired me and helped to push me to get to where I am today. So a massive thank you to all of you guys. I'll be making polls here on YouTube later today where you can vote for your favourite team / battle. YouTube unfortunately has a limit of just 5 poll options, so of course I'll have to split the teams across 2 polls. The winners of each poll after 24 hours will go through to the final poll where we will find out who is the spiciest content creator. I'm really looking forward to watching these battles, but before we get into that, let's start with the question of the day. Who is your favourite Pokémon GO PvP content creator and what's your favourite thing about their channel? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the first battler. It seems fitting to kick the video off with a submission from Jonkus since he's always the first to feature anything new in the world of Pokémon GO PvP. He's running a triple Hitmon team with both Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee in their shadow forms. Let's get into the battle now. Alright, so going into the battle here, we lead into a Stunfisk. This is a very good lead for us, but unfortunately the opponent swaps into a Sableye. Bit of a core breaker for the team, unfortunately. We're not going to choose to throw a charge move here. We're going to shield up the foul play. Unfortunately, they do bait us here. We're actually going to bank 2 charge moves there. Very interesting not to throw at all, but perhaps Jonkus is reading that with Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, it's often paired with either a Pelipper or a Venusaur, in which case both Thunder Punch and Ice Punch is going to be very handy to take that Pokemon out. We go for a close combat on the CMP tie there. We're able to take out the Sableye, and they do have a Pelipper, so we get a shield with the Stone Edge there. Unfortunately, they get the full farm down. We go for the Thunder Punch, but they catch it perfectly onto the Stunfisk. Amazing play by the opponent, but if you can catch, so can Jonkus, and he is able to catch a Rock Slide onto this Hitmonlee, and that is resisted, but it still does a lot of damage to Shadow Hitmonlee. The opponent doesn't even commit to an Earthquake here. They go for another Rock Slide, giving us the opportunity to fully farm them down. We're going to go for a Stone Edge here. The opponent has to let this go through because Thunder Punch obviously takes them out, but Stone Edge also takes out the Pelipper, and Jonkus is able to take that game. Next, we've got a submission from ZyoniK who says he loves to include Greninja in his spicier teams and chose to pair it up with Roserade running Dazzling Gleam in the lead and Suicune as a save swap. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few booms in this battle, so let's get into it now. Alright, so going into the battle here, we're going to lead Roserade into Medicham, and this is not such a bad matchup here. Unfortunately, all the charge moves are going to be super effective, but are they going to be expecting a Dazzling Gleam coming from this Roserade? We go for it, and boom, we almost one-shot the Medicham. The opponent doesn't even have time to react, and unfortunately, they get Bullet Seed farmed down there. They come in with Sableye. No way are we going to land a second Dazzling Gleam in this battle right away. Yeah, unfortunately we're not. So we're going to safe swap here into the Suicune, and you see we are running double nukes with Ice Beam and Hydro Pump for maximum damage output here. Suicune, a bit of an underrated Pokemon, kind of bulky. It will be able to tank a second foul play here, and we go straight for the Hydro Pump. Can we land another nuke? Yes we can, and boom, we take out the Sableye. Unfortunately, this Registeel is going to be able to lock on farm us down, but not before we get to an Ice Beam. The opponent must have been counting there as they no-shield it. Ice Beam doesn't do an awful lot of damage, but Greninja is in a very strong position to close here. They go for a Zap Cannon, they don't get the debuff. We're actually going for a Surf here that's going to do slightly more damage, and it's a wise decision here as ZyoniK calls that the opponent probably won't shield the first move here, as you can get boosts from Night Slash here, but now we can just go safely for the Night Slash here. Night Slash gets the final shield, and we're able to make it to another Night Night Slash here up against this Registeel, and we're able to take that game. Next, we got Rise to the Occasion, who actually featured my battles on his channel just a few days ago, so definitely go check out that video. But he's going to be running a triple Shadow theme team with a very interesting shiny Shadow Stantler in the lead. I've never seen this Pokemon in the Go Battle League, so let's see how it gets on in this battle. Alright, so going into the battle now, we lead Stantler into Sableye. I'd say this is probably a fairly neutral matchup here, both dealing resisted fast move damage here, but the opponent swaps into a Registeel. We're going to respond with our Shadow Poliwrath here, unfortunately not running Dynamic Punch, but the opponent doesn't know that. They shield up a Scald and we get the attack drop. Unfortunately, the Registeel also gets an attack drop with the Zap Cannon here. I think this is actually a fairly neutral matchup when we're not running Dynamic Punch here. As you can see, that doesn't do enough damage to take them out, and it doesn't even put them into range where we can farm down with Mud Shot. Once again, both opponent and Rise both get the attack drop with the Scald and the Zap Cannon. We go for another Scald here, not able to get the attack drop, and we swap and we catch a potential Zap Cannon. Yes, that is exactly what we do. They're going to come in with Sableye. Unfortunately, they did drop our attack once again, but we go for a Wild Charge. Wild Charge does big damage there, even with the attack drop there, but unfortunately, they're able to fully farm us down. Now, we're going to come in with our Shadow Scizor here, and unfortunately, this Foul Play is going to do a lot of damage to Scizor, and they might even make it to one more Foul Play before they go down, and that's exactly what happens here. Foul Play takes out the Scizor, and it's up to Poliwrath to take out pretty much the whole team here. So we're going to see what they come in with next. They come back in with the Registeel. We're going to overfarm a ton, get to 100 energy, and they catch the Ice Punch onto a Bastiodon. What a play by this opponent. That was absolutely brilliant. We're going to go for a Scald here, and we're probably going to overfarm as much as physically possible before this Bastiodon gets to a charge move here. And we do. We go for the second Scald here. Scald takes out the Bastiodon, and we're still able to get to another charge move before Registeel can. And we get to the Ice Punch, take out the Registeel, and take that game. Next, we got the triple Shadow legend Jamie Finn, who unfortunately was working throughout pretty much the entirety of the weekend, so didn't get a chance to do any battles, but he submitted a quick battle from yesterday, running a team he built for last season's Catch Cup. Let's get into that battle now. Alright, so going into the battle here, we lead Shadow Staraptor into Trevenant, the Dream lead. The opponent save swaps into a Shadow Drapion here. We're going to respond with our Steelix, and I can pretty much guarantee right now there is a Bastiodon in the back, because this is a very common team made by Caleb Peng, another brilliant content creator here on YouTube. We're going to go for a Psychic Fangs. Unfortunately, this is resisted, but the opponent does put up a shield, and we're able to get to another Psychic Fangs before the Drapion throws another charge move. We go for the Psychic Fangs there, they let it go through, and they don't even throw a charge move there. We're able to fully farm down and get to another Psychic Fangs up against this Trevenant. We lower their defense, gonna wait out our clock. No, we're not. We're gonna come in with the Staraptor. The opponent's able to swap out, but Bastiodon gets hard walled by Hippowdon, and we RPS our way through a team with Bastiodon. You love to see it. Next up is Ganeto, whose signature Pokemon is Shadow Zapdos, so of course that's included, but there's a couple of very unique choices on this team that I certainly wasn't expecting to see. Let's see how this battle went down. Alright, so going into the battle here, we lead Rhydon into a Cofagrigus. I have no idea how this matchup goes, so I guess we're about to find out. We're going to go straight for a Surf here, but the opponent catches perfectly onto a Buzzwole. That pretty much wastes our energy, because a single Drill Peck from a Shadow Zapdos would be enough to one-shot the Buzzwole. The opponent knows that, so they actually decide to fully sacrifice the Buzzwole there, and they're going to come back in with the Cofagrigus, go for a charge move. It's a Dark Pulse. We shield it up here, overfarm, go up to the Thunderbolt, but go for a Drill Peck, and the opponent respects the damage coming from Shadow Zapdos, but we're able to get to another Drill Peck here. They've underestimated the energy, and we get the final shield from this Cofagrigus. We're now going to let the Zapdos go down. Dark Pulse takes us out. We come back in with the Rhydon here. Unfortunately, they're already at another charge move, so we will shield up the move. It's a Shadow Ball that would have easily taken us out. We're not running Earthquake, but we are running Stone Edge, and Stone Edge will do massive damage to the Tentacruel. We swap into the Pikachu Libre, looking to sacrifice it, but they're running Acid Spray, and they go for it instead of a Scald. We're now able to get to a charge move, but we go for a double resisted flying press. This is double resisted, it doesn't even take them out, and we're able to get the simultaneous KO, but we still had the Rhydon in the back. That was a crazy PM there. Up next is the king of theme teams, HomeSliceHenry, who's running a Super Smash Bros. Theme team with Charizard, Lucario and Greninja. Let's get into the battle now. Alright, so going into the battle, we lead Charizard into Shadow Victory Bell, an absolutely amazing lead. They're going to safe swap into defense from Deoxys. We don't really have a response here, so we're going to go for a Blast Burn. And Blast Burn does land, it does huge damage here, and the opponent throws just before we get to the Dragon Claw. They're going to go for a Psycho Boost bait. We're going to overfarm, go for the Dragon Claw on the CMP tie with a potential Rock Slide. We get the shield from this Deoxys here, and I don't know if we're going to commit both shields. We choose not to. Rock Slide lands, but because of the defense drop, we are able to tank it and get to a Dragon Claw up against the Shadow Victory Bell that comes in. We're going to come in with our Lucario here, go for a Power Punch straight away, and we're thinking Shadow Victory Bell in the lead. They're probably running Bastiodon in the back. We're going to shield up this charge move here and see what happens. They go for the Leaf Blade, and it is Bastiodon in the back. You absolutely love to see it. This Lucario is going to go on an absolute rampage, ramping up its damage here, taking out, nope, actually we're going to swap into the Greninja here and make sure we bubble down the Bastiodon and the Victory Bell to take that game. The next submission is from ThoTechtical, who deleted all of his previously made battle parties and actually let Niantic do the spicy team building. Here is one of the ridiculous teams it came up with. Alright, so going into the battle here, we lead into an Altaria with our Slowking. Unfortunately, not a Slowbro, because Slowbro does have access to Ice Beam, which would be one-shotting Altaria, but it doesn't matter too much. We go for a Psychic here. Psychic does some big damage. It's a CMP tie, and the Altaria goes for a Moonblast that does slightly more damage. They're able to fully Dragon Breath farm us down, but Slowking certainly put up a fight. We come in with Milotic, Dragon Tail, farm them down. They come in with Galvantula, and now I'm realizing the entire team is weak to the electric typing, which is certainly not ideal when you're going up against a very strong electric type. They go for a lunge, they debuff our attack here, which is super unfortunate. We're going to go for another Surf here just before they reach the next lunge, and we do get a shield here. We're now going to come in with the Ledian here, and the opponent goes for a lunge. Tho is able to call the bait there, which is perfect. Now all shields are down on their end. We still have a shield. We're going to save it. We can tank a Hydro Cannon here. Go for a Dynamic Punch just before they make it to the next charge move. Dynamic Punch doesn't do that much damage with the debuff, but we're going to shield this up, and hopefully, just hopefully, we can Bug Bite, farm them down, and we are able to. That's perfect. We're going to go for the Aerial Ace here just before the Volt Switch registers, and Aerial Ace is enough to take out the Galvantula and take that game. And finally, we got ChillisFM, who wanted to try some uncommon movesets on underutilized Pokemon. I certainly love a surprise nuke on a spicy Pokemon, so let's see how this battle went down. Alright, so going into the final battle here, we lead Haxorus into a Tentacruel, and this is very important that we see it in the lead because both Pokemon in the back are incredibly weak to the poison typing here. So Acid Spray, not going to do too much damage, but it does debuff our defense. This is an all or nothing Earthquake here, and we land it. We one-shot the Tentacruel. We're going to come in with a Slurpuff here, and the opponent has two Pokemon in the back that are incredibly weak to the Fairy typing. We go for a Play Rough here. Typically you only see Grass Knot and, or actually no, Energy Ball and Flamethrower, so bit of a surprise to run the Play Rough here, but the opponent does use both shields here. We're actually going to let the first move go through, just going to be a Body Slam. We do tank that quite comfortably. We're actually going to let the second one go through, and the reason for that is because we're going to want to land a Solar Beam in this matchup here. We're going to shield up this move, hopefully go for a full Fury Cutter farm down. They go for a Body Slam, they swap into the Medicham here. We're going to overfarm, go for the Solar Beam. How much damage does this do? It one-shots the Medicham here. We're able to Fury Cutter, farm down the Zweilous, and take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. Those were some absolutely incredible battles, so once again, thank you to all the content creators that were involved. I've left links in the description for all 8 featured content creators, so if you want to check out their channels, you can do. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure you leave a like, and maybe I'll do another YouTuber Battle of Spice video in the future. Also, if there are any other content creators that you'd love to see involved next time, make sure you leave a comment letting me know. If you want to see more content like this in the future, then of course make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn on post notifications so that way you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Remember, don't forget to vote for your favourite team/battle featured in today's video in a poll that will be up on YouTube later today. But with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we've got Lord Everything Trains who says, I've been running Nidoqueen, Scrafty and Obstagoon. The twist is that Obstagoon has Gunk Shot and Nidoqueen has Stone Edge and Earthquake. Many rage quitting opponents after I nuke their Charmer or Flyer. And certainly if you're going to run a fairly common or previously common team, I think this is the way to do it. Run some surprise charge moves there because that way you're actually going to be able to catch your opponents off guard and potentially flip games even when your opponent knows your team. Next we got No Name who says Guzzlord and Toxapex, extremely underrated, and I've not heard of this core, never seen it in Go Battle League, and looking at it now, it seems like those typings would pretty well complement each other, although I think steel types might still be a bit of an issue, so I guess it depends on what your third Pokemon is, but that is certainly a unique core. And finally, we got Cornell Blues 23 who says, for Ultra League I found great success with Waterfall Gyarados and Steelix core. They both complement each other's weaknesses so well, it's crazy. I switched my third quite a bit using Grass and Flyers, and that also sounds like a fairly unique core, not one that I've come across, although it sounds fairly similar to Galarian, Stunfisk and Pelipper that we see in the Great League, and we know that's a fairly strong core too. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.